Is Damascus falling or not? It looks like all kinds of stuff's happening in Syria, all the way up until Damascus.
Yes.
I don't know. Are we seeing Isaiah 17:1 coming to pass? The prophecy of seeing Damascus fall into ruins, a heap of ruins?
I'm not sure what's going on with
Well,
Syria.
let's talk about it.
Let's do it.
TGR News, broadcasting from the State of Israel.
Welcome back to TGR News.
Hello, hello.
Well, let's just get into it.
Yeah, let's do it. This past Saturday was the first Saturday we did not get any of our hostages back, unfortunately. Even though it hasn't been very long that we had been receiving our hostages, we have already addicted to this feeling.
So true.
Yeah. As soon as we have finished the first part of this ceasefire, we begin to have problems with the second part of the deal. So, what's going on with the parts of the deal?
Yes, well, this is all from the beginning of the week. You know, we're just doing catch up here.
Yes.
Yeah. The second part of the deal is supposedly the end of the war and complete pullout of the IDF from the Gaza Strip. Israel, or Netanyahu, is trying to lengthen the first part of the deal, which is hostages for murderers, basically, the terrorists that we released for the hostages. When Hamas did not agree to continue with the first part of the deal, then Netanyahu stopped all the humanitarian aid going into Gaza Strip. I'm not sure what kind of an effect that will have on Hamas, seeing that we have been giving them so much, tons and tons of humanitarian aid for 16 months, so much that they have stockpiles of aid that could potentially last them, I don't know how long, for years. I don't really know how long, because the amount is unbelievable, the amount of aid that we've been, because the world's always anti-Israel, so we have to over push in aid to counteract it. So now we try to catch up with the whole deal that's going on this week. Where are we at right now, Ola?
Well, right now the prices in Gaza going up, which is a good thing because they still have abundance of everything, but the merchants there are so greedy, and they know that we stopped the flow of the aid, so they doubled and tripled the prices of everything. So right now, the Gazans start feeling like uncomfortable, uncomfortable, and start blaming the merchants. And Hamas send their people, police, to take care of this but they usually, how they take care of things, they usually beat them up and shoot them, the merchants.
Right.
So we'll see.
It's lots of interesting things. Lately, just this past 24 hours, President Donald Trump has been addressing Hamas directly and making actually pretty good comments, talking about how the civilians now, Hamas is the civilians of Gaza. Hamas was tripling the prices of all the stuff that they're selling there to the people, to their own people. Well, that might help with Trump saying to the people, get rid of this Hamas, and because it's interesting that he even addressed Hamas directly.
Yes, that's important to say that merchants, the people who sell things in Gaza, most of them connected to Hamas.
Yes,
that's why Hamas sending the police to beat them up. It's not. It's like Hamas selling the aid that's supposed to be free for Gazans since the beginning of the war.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, but so we'll see what's happening. It's still all up in the air. Everyone is still talking about Trump's idea of getting all the Gazans out of Gaza, which would be something that never thought possible for the people of Israel. So there has been no decisions made, and the hostage deal is basically on hold, and officially the ceasefire is over.
Yes.
Because we haven't moved on to the second part, and the first part is over.
Yes, but what Benjamin Netanyahu, he gave a clue. He didn't say directly, but he implied that if this won't be enough, we just stop the aid, and Hamas still don't release our hostages or come to the table to make the first stage of the deal to continue, then we'll do other measures and he implying like
Yeah.
electricity, which they don't care, but let's
Most
say.
don't have electricity.
Yeah, they
already,
have
you know.
panels and water and other things that we can push and pressure Hamas to come back to the table to negotiate.
Well, I hope we get more of our hostages back and then,
Yes.
and then finish all of our hostages back and then finish out Hamas and finish this whole thing up. This is by far the longest war Israel's ever been in. It's not even close to being one of the, I'm talking about just the war with Gaza, okay, from the 7th of October. It's not even close to being one of the wars that was a big threat to the existence of the state of Israel. As far as wars go in Israel, as in how dangerous it was for the state, this is one of the smallest big wars Israel's ever had.
Yes.
But it's just going on and on. It's just lingering. Yeah.
Make me think about how spoiled the Jewish people with God, because God made our wars so short,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Actually,
Well,
sometimes it looks like there's no chance for us to win.
6-day war, Yom Kippur,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah, well, this is a different type of war.
Yeah.
That, like I said, Israel was not actually ever in threat of being wiped out in this war.
Yes.
That's why, well, the Lord did do a lot of miracles, but that's why I don't think it was a quick war. And also that's why Israel's taking their time, because we're talking about Gaza. You can take your time with Gaza because there's no real big threat there.
Yes,
You know?
you can take your time with Gaza because there's no real threat right now. We cannot let Hamas stay in
Yes,
power for
and
sure.
we got to stop them from
And-
being able to do that again.
And the second thing, because we have our hostages there, we're not
Yeah, of
fighting
course.
as we can.
Yeah, and you can't freely attack them like you would
Yeah.
if they didn't have our hostages. Well, we got to say thank you guys, because all these things that the people of Israel here are going through, the children here seeing all these, I don't know how to explain. Like, we went through it ourselves, where the first time our kids had to run because of the sirens and rockets going off. The children of Israel here are under threat always, in knowing that their neighbors are trying to kill them. I don't know how to explain it better than that. And I can't explain the feeling it is as a parent to have to explain to your child while the sirens are going off and booms in the sky, as little children, and explain to them what's actually happening. It's difficult, and to see the world always against Israel. That's why what you guys do here is so important. Like Ola likes to say, you are helping to make a difference.
Yes.
To change the statistic of 1 out of 3 children of Israel go to bed hungry every night. It is just a wonderful thing you guys do. The support you send to this ministry, to the Golden Report, it's just amazing the way it works, not only to give food, put food in the bellies of these children and their families. Not only that, but the physical food, but also the spiritual food,
Yes.
showing them love from the world, and most importantly, love from the body of Christ.
Amen.
It's so beautiful that you allow us to be a part of that. And it's an amazing thing. Our shop now, we have to do another big order.
We're growing.
Yeah, we're growing
guys.
more and more families, and we got to do another big order of food. That's very expensive here in Israel. That's why we're helping them.
Yes.
So we got to thank you guys so much. If you haven't been a part of this and you want to, there are links below all of our videos to the Patreon page or to the Support Us page. Or you can just go to your web browser and type in thegoldenreport.com and go to the Support Us page there, and you can find whichever way is best for you on that page. Figure out how to be a part of this wonderful
Yes.
mission we're doing, that the Lord gave us, this mission the Lord gave us to do here, to feed the children of Israel. So God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, on Sunday, listen to that. You have to understand what I'm saying here. On Sunday, Egypt and Hamas made a joint statement saying that they do not agree to release all the hostages unless Israel stop the war and completely pull out of Gaza. Egypt, country. And
So
Hamas
Egypt's
together.
holding our hostages now?
That's the thing. How Egypt can even say this thing that they demand stop of the war, if not, they're not releasing our hostages. It blows my mind.
So is Egypt holding our hostages now?
Interesting, right? This is interesting. It's just, well, now Hamas and Egypt kind of together. We knew that, but it's like officially they are together.
Yep.
This is the same Cairo that stood helped the army on the border of the Sinai to stop any Gaza citizens from coming into their country and refused to accept even one Palestinian.
Yep. Yeah, and now all of a sudden they're best buddies, and it sounds like, the way they worded it, it sounds like they're holding our hostages. or at least part of it.
Yes, it brings me back to the same thing that we knew all the time, that Egypt, Jordan, and other Arab countries have interest to keep this Palestinian refugee thing alive all the time, to destroy the state of Israel.
Yep, this is Gaza has been a tool, and the people of Gaza have been a tool for Iran, Egypt, Jordan, all of our countries that Iran we don't have supposedly had peace, but even the ones we supposedly had peace and the ones we haven't had peace with, Gaza has always been a tool for them to support the terrorist activity there for the past 20 years to continue to attack and push on Israel.
And the UN. UN is a part of it too.
Yeah, UN's a part of it too, absolutely, with UNRWA especially. Then, after all that you just said, Egypt had a summit in Cairo meeting with all the parties affected by the Gaza situation and came to an agreement, that they will rebuild the Gaza Strip while keeping all the Gaza citizens in Gaza while they rebuild. How surprising. This seems to be the big question that everyone is talking about. What will happen with Gaza and the people in Gaza while the land is being redeveloped or developed? Yeah. This is a direct answer. With Gaza's summit thing in Cairo was a direct answer or reply to Trump's idea of getting the Gazans out. Egypt's like, no, because exactly what you just said. It's very important for them to keep the threat of Israel in Gaza. That's what's important to them, not the Gaza people, not the land. The threat of the Gaza Strip on Israel is a very important tool that they want to keep in place.
Yes.
And they'll do anything to keep it, including cause millions of people to live in a horrible situation while they come in and rebuild for them as cheaply and quickly as possible, just to stop Trump from getting them out of there.
Yeah, well, they say it's going to cost $53 billion to rebuild Gaza. They didn't say Egypt. It was Egypt's proposal. They didn't say where the money come from. They didn't talk about Hamas in this big summit with many Arab countries. Even the new government of Syria came there, right? Many countries participated in this summit, but nobody talked about what's going to happen with Hamas, what's going to happen, where the money come from, which country will donate it. They didn't talk about that. But now they're going actually to meet Donald Trump and give this proposal to him and see what's going to happen.
See what happens.
Right now, by the way, the White House rejected this ridiculous plan.
Of course, yeah.
Well, this week we had a new commanding-chief of IDF, the 24th chief of command, and the first that did not come from the special forces. He came from the tank division. He seems to be a good, but only time will tell. We don't know anything about him. You don't know anything about him.
We don't know much about him,
But we'll see. His name is Zamir. Last name is Zamir.
Yeah. So we'll see. He seems to be pretty good, though.
Well, I'll tell you, in 24 hours, he already have a list of new appointments, new thing that he appointed.
Appointed new generals in the new positions.
Yes.
Yep.
And already some changes in the strategies and things that I like. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Only time will tell, like we said.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting. We know that the last commanding chief, Herzi Halevi, he wasn't the best. I'll just leave it at that. He wasn't the best we've ever had in Israel. I don't know if he was the worst, but he definitely wasn't the best.
Yeah.
The situation in Syria. This is what we started this whole thing off with, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about Syria. The situation in Syria has been getting more and more interesting. It seems like every day, or sometimes it seems like every hour.
Yeah.
How it looks as of today, it seems that soon it is possible that Syria will become two separate countries. Syria and another country from our border till just south of Damascus, and it will be a country for the Druze. I really don't know what would be the name of that country. I haven't ever heard any proposals even yet, which is a sign that maybe it's not that serious, but it's still in the works. I don't even know what to say about this, except it is obvious why Israel is supporting this, seeing how it will give Israel a huge buffer zone between
Yeah.
to protect herself. It's just very obvious why we want it, but how does that come about? Are we seeing the beginning of the prophecy in Isaiah 17:1, where Damascus will finally fall? I really don't know. Do you have any ideas?
No, I don't know either. But, well, Syria been for a while. Since the last war that they have with us, they never really recuperate.
Oh, since the Yom Kippur War.
Yom Kippur War.
Yeah, Syria lost all sovereignty since the Yom Kippur
Yes.
War. That's been the curse of the Yom Kippur War for Syria.
Yes, and I'm really clueless what's going on with this new Giuliani, the government, because he kind of patient with us. Israel attacked the south of Syria.
You call it patience, and I call it maybe he knows he doesn't have anything much he can do right now.
Maybe, but he already started making statements in the same summit that we talked about. He already answered to the reporter that asked him why you tolerate this Israeli thing that they attack. We never attack his government. Well, we try not to, but we destroy weapons, we destroy warehouses. So he said, we won't talk about it. It's gonna be quiet. Like we do things, but it's not. But it's not. We cannot talk about it. But yes, Syria is something I don't understand.
Syria is going through some changes rapidly,
Yes.
and extreme changes. And like I said, it just might be the dominoes lining up for Isaiah 17:1.
Yes.
It just might be. You don't know. Well, like everything else here in the Middle East, only time will tell. As I've said it here many, many times, and you see it happen over and over. You see things boiling up here in the Middle East. They look like they're going to explode, and sometimes they do. And then you're off to war. But also sometimes it looks like you got no other choice, but this is what's going to happen, and then everything just simmers back down. And then we go on for another few years, right?
Yes.
That's just the way it is in the Middle East.
Yes, and we live in amazing times.
Oh,
amazing
absolutely. Absolutely. And you guys enduring these times, helping the people here in Israel.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's just beautiful.
Yes.
What you're doing here, helping the people, feeding the people here in Israel.
It's a wonderful cause.
It's thank you guys, and once again for your support for that, all that.
Yes.
You got anything you want to add?
No, basically we're done, right? We talked about it all.
That's this week. Maybe next week Syria, Damascus will fall. Maybe not. But don't forget to join us on thegoldenreport.com.
Yes,
And until
yes.
next time.
Shabbat shalom.
You got it.